Okay, before we begin, I need to ask you something. How much is the phone you are using right now worth? What is the total value of the clothes you are wearing? If you have a car, how many dollars is it worth? Did a small sense of pride arise inside you while calculating these? This is exactly where everything begins. Every morning the same man comes to the same parking lot with the same car. A 2011 Honda Civic. The paint is faded. There is a small dent on the rear bumper. When he walks in, nobody even looks at him. Why would they? There seems to be nothing worth looking at. His coworkers sometimes whisper, "He must be struggling. I wonder what he would do if an emergency came up. Is that guy still coming with that car?" The man hears it, smiles, and says nothing. Because he has a $4.2 million index fund portfolio. His home is paid off. His children's college accounts are fully funded. If he woke up tomorrow and said, "I am no longer working," nothing would change. His life would go on. And he does this deliberately. Every morning by getting into that car, he is consciously choosing this. When I first learned this, I thought to myself, so while everyone thinks they feel sorry for him, the man is laughing at them, is that right? Yes, exactly. And if you want to be on the laughing side, give me a minute. I am not telling you something theoretical. I fell into this trap myself. I thought, I need to show that I have succeeded all these years. I wanted people to look at me and say, this guy is in a good place. Every purchase was like a kind of announcement. I am here, I have succeeded, I am worthy. And while doing this, there was something I did not notice. I was becoming poorer in every sense. While becoming visible, I was genuinely weakening. Every "I have succeeded" message was actually an "I am not safe" message. The day I understood this, many things changed. But the truly interesting thing is this is not just my story. Research says these people make up a surprisingly large majority. According to Experian company reports, 61% of those earning over $250,000 drive a Honda, Toyota, or Ford. Not BMW. Not Mercedes. Cars that blend into any parking lot, going unnoticed. On the other hand, 8% of those earning under $100,000 own a luxury vehicle. So there are people who earn $50,000 and buy a $60,000 car. One group looks rich. The other group is actually rich. These two groups are rarely the same people. When I first read this, I said, they are exaggerating. Then I looked around me. Then I went quiet again. Thomas J. Stanley and William Danko studied millionaires for years. Do you know what they found? 80% of millionaires are first-generation wealthy. They did not inherit anything and built their wealth from scratch. Half of them have lived in the same home for more than 20 years. Their likelihood of driving a Ford is much higher than driving a Bentley. But what is truly surprising is this. Researchers found that millionaires are concentrated in middle-class and blue-collar neighborhoods, not in wealthy districts. They were not expecting this. The researchers were not expecting it. I would not have expected it, and neither would you. The explanation is this. High-income white-collar professionals invest what they earn into luxury products. They are playing the let everyone see game. Real wealth builders are playing a completely different game. And the rule in that game is very simple. Every dollar spent on appearances is a dollar that cannot compound and grow for 30 years. They do the math. Because they stay quiet, everyone thinks they are ordinary. Dave Ramsey made the list. The most used car brands by millionaires. 1 Toyota, 2 Honda, 3 Ford. BMW could only make it to 6th place. Mercedes is not on the list. Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord for years. Mark Zuckerberg was spotted in an Acura TSX. Google co-founder Larry Page drove a Toyota Prius. Warren Buffett still lives in the house he bought for $31,500 in 1958. Not because they cannot afford better, because they decided that looking rich is not worth the cost of actually being rich. Now you are probably thinking, okay, but these people are already billionaires. It doesn't matter for them. No, quite the opposite. These habits are what made them billionaires. The $50,000 watch. Thorstein Veblen introduced the concept of conspicuous consumption more than a century ago. He said this, people buy products not for their use value, but for the signal they send. A $50,000 watch tells time just as accurately as a $50 watch. The $49,950 in between buys something else, the right to send the message, "I have succeeded," to others. And research says this: people who see money as a symbol of power and success score lower in terms of financial satisfaction. So those who spend to show off become both poorer and unhappier. This irony makes me smile a little every time, but it is a bitter smile. Now let us do some concrete math. The difference between a $30,000 car and an $80,000 car, $50,000. What does this $50,000 become in 25 years at a 7% annual return? Approximately $270,000. This is the real cost of looking rich. And this is just the car. Clothes, vacations, restaurants, bags, watches, each one has a compounding cost. Every status symbol has an opportunity cost that cannot grow for decades. The 2025 Empower research found this. 62% of ordinary millionaires still budget, look for discounts, and avoid living extravagantly even after surpassing $1 million. The habits that build wealth are the same as the habits that protect wealth. Read that sentence one more time. Then continue. Nobody talks about this, but according to Javelin Research, 6.4% of the general public is exposed to identity theft. This rate rises to 8.1% among individuals with assets of $1 million or more. Visibly wealthy individuals become targets of attacks called whale hunting. This is not mass fraud. Carefully crafted operations. Profiles compiled from social media, data breaches, and open sources are used. According to the FTC 2023 report, losses from fraud amount to $10.3 billion. And these operations specifically target wealthy individuals. Looking rich means announcing how much you have. Looking ordinary means protecting it. Have you ever experienced this? You buy a slightly better car. Now you are expected to go to expensive restaurants. You wear a slightly better watch. The moments when your friends expect you to pay the bill multiply. Visible wealth raises the expectations those around you have of you, and you spend more to meet those expectations. You work more to spend more. You swallow more stress to work more. This cycle has a name: the status treadmill. Everyone who gets on it starts running without realizing it, and the treadmill speeds up a little more every year. Research shows that high net worth individuals experience a strange thing. Power increases and trust decreases. Does this person love me or my money? This question never goes away. Evaluating relationships becomes harder, and that background thought is present in every new encounter. But the person who is quietly wealthy while appearing middle class never experiences this problem. Their friendships are based on who they are, not on what they have. This is something money cannot buy. Stanley and Danko created a framework. There are two categories. 1. PAW, prodigious accumulator of wealth. 2. UAW, underaccumulator of wealth. These categories have nothing to do with income. A cleaning worker earning $50,000 a year can be more of a PAW than a doctor earning $700,000 a year. Everything is determined by behavior, not income. The formula is this: age times annual income divided by 10 equals expected net worth. If you are 40 years old and earning $150,000, you should have approximately $600,000 in net worth. If you are below this threshold, you are a UAW. You are not saving your income, you are spending it. UAWs live in luxury, style, and comfort. They are usually highly educated. They understand compound interest in theory. They just do not put it into practice behaviorally. Researchers gave these expenditures a special name: million-dollar choices. Because if that choice had not been made, the person would have had $1 million. An example from the original research. A couple smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day for 46 years. The cumulative cost exceeded the value of their home by $33,000. If they had invested that money, the portfolio would have exceeded $2 million. Now replace the cigarettes with a luxury car, a designer bag, a phone renewed every year. The math does not change. Every display expenditure is money that cannot grow for decades. Stanley and Danko wrote this. Young people are conditioned to believe that those who have money spend extravagantly. If you don't show it, you don't have it. This programming comes from everywhere. Television glorifies flashy lifestyles. Social media holds a mirror to curated consumption. Advertisements promise that purchases will transform your identity. The message is consistent. Rich people look rich. And this belief is provably wrong. But its effects are real. Someone who internalizes this narrative spends all their income on maintaining appearances. They reach age 55 with a closet full of luxury items and a retirement account that cannot sustain them. The person who rejects this narrative quietly becomes wealthy. While the other consumes, this one compounds. While the other displays, this one grows. According to Bain & Company's 2024 luxury report, wealthy consumers now prefer durability and craftsmanship over conspicuous consumption. StealthWealth has become a new social currency. 2024 Accenture research. 52% of global shoppers now follow content creators who prefer practical luxury over flashy excess. After the Succession series ended, Loro Piana searches exploded globally. Not flashy logos. Not prominent brands. Wealth that only those who truly understand can recognize. This is not a fashion change. This is the final understanding of the cost of visible wealth. There is one more practical thing that most people do not think about. Negotiating becomes much easier when the other side does not know your position. The car dealer treats the person who arrives in a Honda Civic differently from the person who arrives in a Mercedes. The contractor gives quotes based on the neighborhood they enter. Warren Buffett once said, "Because nobody knows he is wealthy, he never worries about being overcharged." The person who looks rich pays a small wealth tax on everything they buy. The person who looks ordinary pays the standard price. This difference reaches a significant amount over a lifetime. Coworkers who think you are struggling treat you like an ally. The boss who thinks you need the job assumes your commitment to it. The client who sees you as modest does not question your fees. The moment visible wealth enters a professional relationship, everything changes. Colleagues wonder, if he has already made it, why is he still here? Bosses question your commitment. But the quietly wealthy employee? While appearing to need the job, they have the security of not needing it. This is an extraordinarily powerful position. They can take risks that desperate employees cannot. While appearing to negotiate from need, they can negotiate from strength. The Millionaire Next Door research found an interesting thing. There is a negative correlation between wealthy parents transferring money to their children and the children accumulating their own wealth. So the more money you give, the less the children save. Because the money given carries a subliminal message, you cannot do it on your own. Children do not see the difference between what they produce and what they receive. They think of themselves as more productive than they actually are. Parents who look rich constantly face requests for financial support. Children grow up expecting an inheritance. Parents who are quietly wealthy while appearing middle class can give support strategically. Their children develop self-confidence without knowing there is a safety net. There is a concept in psychology called Hedonic adaptation. In short, it means this. Everything returns to normal. You bought a BMW. The first week it is magnificent. The second month it is a normal car. The sixth month it is just a vehicle. You bought a watch. The first day it felt wonderful. A year later you do not even notice the watch on your wrist. Every visible purchase gives a temporary excitement. Then it disappears. But the money spent does not disappear. That is permanent. Invisible wealth works differently. A growing net worth provides a constant sense of security that does not adapt away. Knowing that you can handle any emergency. Knowing that you can say no whenever you want. Knowing that your future is secure. This background security affects everything. Decisions become less fear-based. Relationships become less calculated. Sleep becomes more comfortable. The visibly rich person cannot get off the treadmill. Every year they must buy new things to maintain the display. The invisibly wealthy person never got on that treadmill. Someone who earns $200,000 a year and saves 25%. $50,000 investment per year. At 7% return over 25 years, $3.4 million. Someone who earns the same $200,000 and saves 5%, spending the rest on visible consumption. $10,000 investment per year. In the same period, $680,000. The first person looks middle class. The second person looks rich. The first person is actually rich. The second is financially fragile. 25 years later, the invisibly wealthy person has 5 times the net worth of the visibly spending person. The visibly spending person has beautiful memories, a closet full of luxury items, stories of expensive experiences. Both made choices. Only one made compounding choices. The Millionaire Next Door lifestyle fundamentally redefines what success is. Success is not what you buy. Success is what you do not have to buy. Success is not the things you have. It is the freedom you bought with the money you did not spend. That 2011 Honda Civic in the parking lot represents something its owner's coworkers will never understand. It represents choosing compound growth over social approval. It represents building security instead of displaying status. The people who see that old car and feel superior to its owner, they will still be working at age 70 because they have no other choice. The man driving that car can quit working tomorrow. I want to be honest. While making this video, there was something inside me. I wanted to tell people this because I personally lived this mistake. I spent to be visible. I wanted people to look at me and say, he has made it. And every success display was actually moving me further away from real success. Now I understand. Nobody knowing how much I have is an advantage. Old car? Advantage. Ordinary appearance? Advantage. The question, I wonder what this guy earns, is the biggest advantage. Looking poor is a strategic advantage that pays dividends in every dimension of life. It protects your wealth from criminals who target visible assets. It protects your relationships from financial distortion. It protects your bargaining power in every transaction. It protects your children's motivation to build their own success. It provides psychological security. It compounds financial resources without spending pressure. The cost is minimal. Some people will look down on you. Some will feel sorry for you. Some will think you have less than you actually have. These are not bugs. They are features. The goal was never to impress people you do not know. The goal was always freedom. Every millionaire driving a Toyota understood something that most people will never understand. Wealth is not what you show. It is what you protect. And look at that parking lot in the morning one more time. Perhaps the most ordinary looking man has the most interesting story.